the 20th of the month. It's my birth date also. It happens to be. And we've been wanting to open this place for a very long time. Last 2 months we've been wanting to open it. And it just happened to be today, and it's the eve of Guru Purnima. So nothing better could God have ever given to me. My parents, Narayanan sir, uncle, whom I revere a lot, and I was deeply in gratitude. My Guru Mahatria is here, and he just gave me a surprise. I don't know what to speak, but I know I have to speak, because if I don't speak now, I don't want to lose the moment. So I love children, and I did my accountancy. I wanted to become a chartered accountant, but my life took a totally different direction, because Dad, as he's just said, I'm the only daughter. He was very, very possessive about me, and he still is. So he didn't want me to work anywhere. I wanted to become a chartered accountant, but he didn't allow me. He said, you work with your brother. And I was very adamant. I said, no, I will not work with him. And I didn't know that was a biggest turning point in my life. After that, of course, I got married. My husband has not been able to be here because of a demise in the family. I got married, and I have grown up with children. I've got 4 older brothers. I was the youngest, so children were always around me. But I never knew that how we have to grow up children. That's when I got married into a unit family. My husband is the only son. I used to feel very lonely, because always in the house there were people, there were children. I thought, okay, I'll do my Montessori course in a conversation with my friend. And that's when I stepped into my Montessori journey in 1996. And I think that was again another breakthrough and turning point for me, because the moment I entered the class, they said that if you have to work with children, you have to come down to the height of the child and then look at life. Life is really beautiful from there, and it's very simple. We complicate lives by our own adult mindset. That really changed me as a person, and I felt that was so beautiful. And the entire journey changed from 1996, and we were reading about the spiritual embryo. Uncle, that's what we made a Janani room here, and we were understanding that how the little one in the mother's womb is feeling the 9 months, what we should be doing. So basically, I've heard from my mother. Of course, my mother has given me all the spiritual roots. Thanks to my mother, she's really, at every time she's told me, God is your best friend. Being the only daughter, I would always look for a sibling, a sister, and she would say, God is your friend. No, so you talk to him. And I think she's just rooted the right principles in me. And we were reading about spiritual embryo. At the completion of my course, I conceived. And everything was just fresh. I was in my 2nd month of pregnancy, and I was going to give my final exams. All my papers, it was a course from the London Montessori Center. I had to send it there, my papers for correction. And then the 2nd month was a very bad period for me, of course. But I still remember my mother-in-law, all of them would help me with my projects, submission of my projects, because if I didn't give it, I would not pass on there. I gave my exams, and of course that was just one block of clearance. And I don't think I've looked back. I just love working with children. Whatever I've done, whatever my parents have given me, my guru, my God, connection with my God, and the right growing up, because I remember Dad, when we were just 2 years, he would wake us up, tell us to do yoga, and would take us for all sorts of physical activities and all that. So I feel that the children, when they're growing in the womb of the mother, that's a very important period. So here upstairs, it was my dream to make a womb room, which I've made it upstairs. It's called Janani. I work with pregnant women, expectant mothers, and I want to give them that womb experience. They should just get into that room and forget everything around them. So that is something which I felt that because I'd studied Montessori, I could do the right things during my 9 months of my pregnancy to grow up Vedant. And of course, whatever I had learned as an educator, I started doing that. I was living in Calcutta, and of course my dad didn't want me to go anywhere, being the only daughter. Life has its own ways. We shifted to Chennai in 2000. I started my Montessori house in 2002, Vatsalya in Shanti Colony, because we didn't find a Montessori house here in Chennai. I would go to schools, they would say Montessori, but they didn't have apparatus. So Montessori is not Montessori when the apparatus is not there. The children learn by themselves. The teacher is not called a teacher, she's a guide. We don't address her as ma'am. It's just like a friend. She is there for the child. And the child, the teacher presents, the guide presents, and then the children learn by themselves. They go around, the teacher guides them. We don't correct them, but the equipments are by its nature self-corrective and they teach the child certain things. So 2002 I started my Montessori house in Annanagar Shanti Colony by the name of Vatsalya Montessori House. And then of course now we've converted it to a full-fledged school which my father-in-law looks after. It's in Perambur area, and I moved on with my journey. I helped Lady Anda to set up the Montessori house. I'm a Kathak teacher and a dancer as well. I explored my journey as a Kathak teacher. I was teaching with my teacher. Children again. I only concentrated with children between 8 to 12 years. And that's when in 2013, life took another direction when I was in Calcutta. And we have gym equipments on the second floor for children. My father was talking about muscle of iron, nerve of steel. And so that's why we thought that we should import these gym equipments from South Carolina. All these gym equipments are non-mechanized and children have to use their own body weight. So a children who is obese also does not feel shunned when they are going for outdoor games and outdoor activities, sports. My son had actually put on a lot of weight, Vedant. He was over 90, only grandson. My mother-in-law and my father-in-law, grandparents, they would love to give him good food. But I was very particular about what I was eating, because I learned that from my father. And thanks to him, the right growing up, that Vedant also, in 2013, he changed. That's when I was blessed with Mahatria, who is here. And after that, I think it's been 11 years. I've not just turned back at all. I just feel he's holding me and I'm going in this journey. All I want to do is work with children. I love working with children, and I feel that age, when they're from the womb of the mother, and even when a woman is wanting to conceive, she doesn't conceive. It's the right time to should conceive and they should carry on working. I really thank my family, my mother-in-law and father-in-law who really supported me. They've never told me don't go to work. Always, right from day one, do what you want to do. Without their support, I don't think I would be doing whatever I'm doing now here as a daughter-in-law. So I really have my deepest gratitude to them. A small I just before spark, because the child has to spark, we have to spark. And we have a smiley after spark, which denotes igniting sparks of happiness. So children are happiness always, their energy on the move. The moment a child enters, we all have a smile on our lips. We blossom how much ever we feel down, but the moment we see a child, we will blossom into a smile. The name is very special, that's why. Experience center is what? Sorry? Experience center is only here. It's just here. It's just something I conceptualized. I was dreaming about, and it's upstairs there on the second floor. Conceptualized by you, or yeah, conceptualized by me.
What are the activities doing by iSpark?
So we start like I work a lot with pregnant women. My program is called Janani, the person who gives birth, Janani. So I take Zoom sessions also. I've during COVID time, a woman who was 37 years old, she had approached me. She was 7 months pregnant, and that's when I started guiding her. And she felt a lot of difference because she felt that even gynecologists and nutritionists, what they were not able to do, with just talking to her, hearing her out, she was feeling relief. And I did chanting sessions. So during my time, because I didn't have family here, I tried to use most of my time. Even otherwise, I've got four elder brothers who always wanted to be a businesswoman and all that. I always looked up to them. So in my own way, I started understanding what I have to do. So for pregnant women especially, what I feel is they just need a person to hear them out. Because when they go to doctors, when they go to a nutritionist, they will say, do this, do this, do that. See, it's not possible for every woman to do that. Everyone faces a lot of their issues back at home also. And they just need a person to hear them and then guide them. So if you ask me, do I have a program? I have a program. I know. I talk to them. Whatever they need at that moment, I my program. I do it with them.
You are giving verbally.
Back when we shifted to Chennai, so one of my friends, I think she would be here in the crowd. Her name is Nita. So she had 2, 3 miscarriages, and when she just came to me, she met me. I was just there for her, and I just kept telling whatever I did because when we were studying Montessori, child psychology and spiritual embryo was a very important subject which we studied. The science, why the child inside the womb of the mother, what is he wanting, what should we give? So I guided her throughout the 9 months of pregnancy and she delivered a baby girl.
For spiritual means if you are defining any specific god or it's a nature.
No, it's just